It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Um, Most people don't know the difference between AI and softwares that are not AI. So if you thought Univah was AI and you weren't trying to be intentionally rude, um, you fall into a very large category of people who don't know the difference between AI and not AI. And that's okay. Because actually, there are not too many people teaching the difference between what is AI and what is not AI. So don't feel too bad about it. It's okay. But yes, we are not AI. The Univah Film Engine was developed to be better and faster than artificial intelligence. So Univah solves all of the problems that AI leaves unsolved. So the Univah Film Engine is a deterministic software. It's a precision tool. It is a tool for creating 3D animations faster, but it's completely real time. I think we've had enough talk about AI. So let's go into what Univah actually is and what Univah disrupts, okay? When this software first came out, or when we first started making videos promoting this tool, a lot of people that we never expected to be afraid of us became afraid of us. And fear is usually just because people misunderstand things. And ego gets in the way of asking questions so that you can understand something that you do not understand. So, a lot of times, the thing that you fear is simply the thing you do not understand. And if you would put your ego aside or your pride aside and you would ask questions and get to understand that thing, you would realize it's actually not something you should fear. It might actually be something that helps you. So, on that note, let's discuss what Univah disrupts because it is a disruptive tool. The disruption is being felt all throughout the industry. But we want to make it clear who Univah disrupts. Okay. I think because everybody thought this was AI, we ended up inheriting a lot of AI hatred that really should not have been directed at all toward our company. So you have the people that were very willing to adopt AI and they were like, oh my gosh, AI is amazing. And then you have the people that were threatened by AI and felt like AI was just going to replace them, take their jobs, and therefore, anytime they saw something that they thought was AI or was created with AI, so they would immediately dislike that thing. And so, because Univah was assumed by almost everyone to be an AI tool, people saw Univah, and therefore, the ones who hate AI said, oh my God, this is going to replace me. This is going to take my job. I therefore hate Stephanie. I hate Univah. I hate AI. This is slop, and that's how I feel. And so, we inherited a lot of AI hatred and I had to do everything I could to educate people on the truth about our company. So here is who we disrupt. The Univah Film Engine is not AI. The Univah Film Engine is the world's first film engine. Before Univah, there was no film engine category. You had only game engines. That's it. Before Univah, if you wanted to make anything cinematic and you wanted to do it in a real time environment, you pretty much would have been forced to go to a game engine such as Unity or Unreal Engine because there was no dedicated film engine category or film engine software where you could take your 3D animations and work on those 3D animations in a real time environment. There was no such tool. before the Univah Film Engine. Okay? Now, we created the Univah Film Engine because rendering is a problem. Offline rendering is expensive. Studios, from indie studios to freelancers to major Hollywood studios, if you calculate the costs annually that everybody spends on cloud rendering, if you calculate the costs annually that everybody is spending on render farms, it will exceed billions. Okay? So when we say this is a $1 billion issue, it's not a number that we just made up out of thin air. We have calculated what people, what studios, freelancers are spending annually, and it's exceeding billions on render farms, on cloud rendering. And the process is very discouraging to people that have a lot of ideas, people that are very creative, that want to be able to see the end result before committing to it. So we created a tool that allows you to see the final quality, or at least extremely close to the final quality, directly in real time. Our goal is to make sure that you no longer need V-Ray for over 90% of your scenes. If you can use Univah to render 90% of your film, that's already a massive saving. If you can use Univah to render 50% of your film, and then the other 50%, maybe you have to use V-Ray, maybe you have to use Arnold, maybe you have to use Redshift, but then the other 50% you can use Univah, that's already saving you a massive amount of time. So if we get Univah to the point where you can render 90%, 80%, 50, even 50%, even if it's 50% of your film no longer has to go through a render farm, no longer has to go through offline rendering. If you get to the point where you realize 90% of your film can be rendered with Univah, and then you only have to use a render farm for the rest of the 10%, and that would mean scenes that are extremely large and have like extremely realistic water simulations, extremely high intensive scenes that have hundreds of thousands of lights. Okay. So for scenes maybe like that, you might still need to rely on offline rendering because real time does have its limitations. Let's be real. Okay. There's only so much you can do with real time. So we will push the bounds of what real time can do. We will take it to as far as it can go. And then what it absolutely cannot do, that's where you go and you use the V-Ray, the Redshift, the Arnold, and your render farm and all that. So what does Univah disrupt? Univah disrupts offline rendering. That's it. Univah is waging a war against wasting time, wastage of time, anything that will waste your time and discourage you from being able to iterate faster. That's what Univah is against. We are not against the artists. We're just making your life easier. We're not against studios. We're not against anybody. We are against anything that wastes your time. We are against cloud rendering. We are against render farms. We want to get to the point where 100% of your film is rendered with Univah, and you don't need offline rendering at all. So that's the goal. Okay? So if you are a 3D animator and you're looking for a real-time rendering environment, that's what Univah is. If you are a motion graphics animator and you're looking for a real-time motion graphics tool, that's what Univah is. If you are a real-time VFX specialist and you're looking for a place where you can do VFX in real time, do it in Univah.